This lesson is about synergies within the different factions. We'll take a very quick look at each individual one, first noting what they're good at, then talk about potential synergies within the leaders. Northern Realm's general synergies. Northern Realm is a faction mostly focused on engines and order abilities. Here are some cards within the faction that synergize well with each other. Droog plus Sabrina. It's a solid finisher play. Will often destroy an entire row of units and spawn a few extra remnants on your side of the board for incredible value. Blue Stripes Commander plus Blue Stripes Scout. Playing these bronze cards in combination with each other will make each of the cards play for effectively 8 points, a lot of value for the provision costs. Cadveni Revenant and Damned Sorceresses. The Damned Sorceress will not only help reduce the power of an opposing unit to 1 for triggering the Revenant, but you can also kill off your own Sorceress to get another Remnant trigger. Foltest. This leader enables you to make use of powerful order abilities without waiting a turn after playing the card, as order abilities can't be activated in the turn the card is played unless it has seal. Some excellent uses for these abilities are Selkirk to duel a valuable unit, Octvist to deal 1 damage to the opponent's board, Gaunter or Dim to permanently answer any single unit, and Prize Winning Cow, which is included in the starter collection, for a 10-point play. Or some bronze cards like Blue Stripes Commander or Cadveni Revenant. Demavend. While the cards that work well with Demavend are vulnerable to getting destroyed or locked, his ability to give extra charges to your powerful engine cards is incredible value when left unanswered. Good cards to use this ability on are Roche Merciless and Kian, both get incredible value if they manage to survive a few rounds, Foltest Sprite and completely annihilate an opponent's board with a bit of setup. Thala can be used as a storage for your charges, and together with a source of seal like Jonatalis, Siegemaster or even Petrus Filter, this can act as a powerful setup card for your big threats. Bronzes like Siege Tower and Reinforced Ballista allow you to get at least 2 points out of every leader activation. Henselt doesn't have a lot of specific synergies. Cadveni Knight gets extra point from being played from the deck, and the seal helps in some of the units. The only specific synergy Ada has is the card Rupert, who can effectively double up on Ada's value. Let's look at Squirtel. Squirtel are very good at dealing with the opponent's units and have some immune units and power plays available to them. Here's some synergies within the faction. Call of the Forest plus Aeliren. If you control 5 other elves and shuffle Aeliren back into your deck, she will come back out of the deck at the end of your turn. Squirtel specific trap cards plus Pyrotechnician. Since the trap cards have the artifact card type, they can be used for some extra damage by this useful dwarf after they have triggered. Yarpen Sigrin plus artifact or traps. One of the strongest engine cards in the game is Yarpen, and it can give you 3 points per turn as long as it's the only unit on the board. Filavandrel. A good choice for any unit-based decks. There are specific units that have even more synergy with him. Allies to take advantage of your boosted units, and bronze units like Markham Defender and Marauder, or like Elven Wardencer. Francesca. The best use for her is to replay a high provision or powerful spell at the right moment to turn the game. Very good targets for her ability are Commander's Horn for a 15-point swing, Renew, Roll Decree or Call of the Forest to play gold unit, Scourge or Ragnarok are powerful control spells to replay as well. Brewer Hook. While his free charges can be used to disable the opponent's roll-locked units or protect your available units, here's some more synergies for him. Weather effects, most notably Ragnarok, moving opponent's units into weather is always a compelling option, or effects that damage the entire row like Dragon Stream and Lacerate. Bronze cards that have an extra input on movement as well, like Riot Brigade or Dolbelfenner Sentry. Ifne. This leader can be used in any deck, but there are some specific synergies to be found as well, especially effects that tilt multiple units of the same power like Scourge, Epidemic and Shiro. Or Seahill, a powerful artifact that requires some support to get going. Next about Nilfgaard. Nilfgaard's focus is on deck manipulation and information. Some other things to look out for in these factions are synergy with locks and soldiers. Nilfgaard also features a lot of units with immediate deploy abilities. Remda plus Slave Infantry, for example, are Slave Infantry's turning a low point units into a copy of Slave Infantry and boosting all of them with Remda, so it's quite a high point play, especially when you're also using Rygrave in the same round. Trehan Va Vitofir, I can't even pronounce his name, but plus Tibor, or Imperial Golem, or Wilgeforce or Cantarella. And a lot of cards like this can abuse the knowledge of the opponent's card in the deck. Left Kingslayer. It's weird to list Lefu here on its own, but this one has a lot of interesting uses and rewards experimentation. Emir Vaemraz. While he's not often the strongest leader concerning points, Emir has a lot of versatility. Here are some cards that most often find good value with Emir. Vesemir Mentor is a powerful card to replay with a good amount of witches in the deck. Or Menokorn will allow you to play another tactic card. Also, neutral cards with good deploy effect like any of the Geralt cards are often a good target for Emir as well. Now about Mormon Warriors. An excellent leader rewarding raw points outside of the apparent reveal synergies in Mangal and Spheres, he can also support valuable engine cards that need protection. Jan Calvet. Knowing the top of your deck is great for cards like Wilgefortz, Joachim de Wet and Isabel of Hage. Last but not least, Usurper. Well, Usurper has pretty much Recover Novice as a way to lack up for his mulligans, and then there are not really much synergies left. Skellige General Synergies. Skellige is the graveyard focused faction. It also has the tools to build a very consistent deck, drawing and discarding a lot of cards. Themes are damaging both enemies and allies, and resurrection from the graveyard. Jutta and Diamond plus Signifer's Right, for example, because the keyword summon makes the right not trigger Jutta's deploy ability, meaning you can always resurrect her as a 12-point play. Or Darren plus Morkwork. Darren is a useful play to remove some unwanted cards from your deck, and if you discard Morkwork, with this ability he will also resurrect. Or Lippy Goodman plus Roach or Morkwork. Lippy will instantly pull out Roach if she gets shuffled back from the graveyard, and Morkwork if he's still in the deck. Krach and Crate. Krach will give you an easy time getting Bloodthirst to trigger, a condition of many Skellige units that require certain numbers of damaged enemies. Even when there is no unit to hit on the opponent's side of the board, there are some cards that allow you to use Krach proactively. Truman Shield Maiden and Truman Queensguard and Olaf. Bran Turisach. An excellent leader for consistency, Bran will also increase the point value of many Skellige cards such as Burner Bran, Haemon Skjald, etc. Harald the Cripple. The best way to get more out of this ability is pairing it with either Dago 2-plates or his bronze brother, the Uncrit Critsword. Ys Turisach. His ability to resurrect the warrior will get better with an expanding card pool for now. His targets are very limited though. Now about monsters. Monsters are good at swarming the board, playing higher value units while being harder to disrupt than Northern Realms. Synergies in monsters exist between Deathwitch units and units that consume others. The Thrive mechanic on many monster cards, having access to many high base power units and being able to consume these high power units from the graveyard synergize well with each other too. Like Old Spare Tip plus Ghoul. Being able to use the big body of Spare Tip twice makes up for the high provision costs, including a few more big bodies to increase consistency, is most likely a good idea as well. Ruin plus Whispering Hillock. Having two 4-point bodies to snack on every turn can be incredibly powerful with a lot of consume triggers. Forktail and Ancient Foglet. Forktail is a potent card and its symmetrical effect is easy to abuse with cards like Ancient Foglets and Thrive units, because the Forktail will first damage Thrive units by 1, but then they will boost by 1. Current Fear. Like Lefo Kingslayer for Nilfgaard, Current Fear has many different combos and monsters and will find a home in a lot of decks. Experimenting with him is very fun. Aridin. Whatever he targets will almost never die. There are a few very high impact cards that are worth protecting in different decks. For example, Giels for Deathwish deck, Kaltulis, or Imolith. Even outside of these three, you'll find a lot of good uses for Aridin's ability. Woodland Spirit. A good leader overall, but no specific synergies within monsters. Using him as protection for an engine is suboptimal, because he could die to an opponent's answers for a big unit for a blowout or still get locked. Unseen Elder. The Deathwish leader. He has good value in all 3 rounds. The usually expected value of Elder is about 4 to 5 points for now, because the pool of Deathwish units is rather small. So if you use Miruna, Manticore and Verkat, you can get even more. Arach's Queen. This passive ability will generate a lot of points if you build a deck around her. Outside of cards that consume units, like Glusty Warp and Sheet Roll of Vermin, can be very potent, but also cards like Archer's Behemoth or Monster Nest can help you a lot. On teamaretuza.com you can always find the latest meta snapshot with deck suggestions for you, but I hope that the video has given you some idea and inspiration for building your own decks. Have fun experimenting.